Good morning. This is Jacob. Uh, it's a pleasure to be alive today, and I'm going to read Psalm 25. And it's I think it's my new favorite psalm. It is just making sense to me this morning and speaking to me, and in more ways than one. And and I'm just falling in love with this Psalm 25. It's like I just found $1,000,000 just sitting on the road, and this is what I feel like. Uh, it's reviving my soul, and I want to read Psalm 25 and share a few insights with you. Uh, Psalm 25. It's a Psalm of David. It goes like this: To you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. O my God, in you I trust. Do not let me be ashamed. Do not let my enemies exult over me. Indeed, none of those who wait for you will be ashamed. Those who deal treacherously without cause will be ashamed. Make me know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truth and teach me. For you are the God of my salvation. For you I wait all the day. Remember, O Lord, your compassion and your loving kindness, for they have been of old. Do not remember the sins of my youth or my transgressions. According to your loving kindness, remember me, for your goodness' sake, O Lord. Good and upright is the Lord, therefore he instructs sinners in the way. He leads the humble in justice. He teaches the humble his way. All the paths of the Lord are loving kindness and truth to those who keep his covenant and his testimonies. For your name's sake, O Lord, pardon my iniquity, for it is great. Who is the man who fears the Lord? He will instruct him in the way he should choose. His soul will abide in prosperity, and his descendants will inherit the land. The secret of the Lord is for those who fear him, and he will make them know his covenant. My eyes are continually toward the Lord, for he will pluck my feet out of the net. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. Bring me out of my distresses. Look upon my affliction and my trouble, and forgive all my sins. Look upon my enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with violent hatred. Guard my soul and deliver me. Do not let me be ashamed, for I take refuge in you. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait for you. Redeem Israel, O God, out of all his troubles. What does it mean in verse 1? It says, To you, O Lord, I lift up my soul. What does it mean to lift up your soul to the Lord? It's to give him your mind, your will, your emotions, to lay your life before him. Everything, good, ugly, bad, great, dark, disgusting, sin, everything. Just to lift it up, to just here's my soul, and say, like, Lord, here's my life, and just like I'm your problem. I'm your child. This is a situation of my life. This is where I'm at. This is where my heart's at. Whether you like it or not, here it is, and it's up to you. It's just it's giving it up to the Lord. And verse 2 says, "Oh my God, in you I trust." Do we trust him? Do we trust him with our lives? Do we trust him in the little things? Do we trust him with preserving who we are? Do not let me be ashamed. Do not let my enemies exult over me. In verse 2. David had lots of enemies, continually on the run from Absalom, his own son and generation below him, plus Saul, King Saul above him was after him, plus enemies around him, plus men who deserted him, plus all the enemies on different lands coming against him. David was constantly having enemies come in from every which way. And I love David because I love his heart so much because he's continually going to the Lord. It's like enemies show up, he's going to the Lord. He's depressed, he's going to the Lord. He's got troubles, he's going to the Lord. He's thankful, he's going to the Lord. He's excited, he's going to the Lord. He's joyful, he's going to the Lord. He's just continually going to the Lord. And we see that in verse 15, jumping ahead real quick. He says, my eyes are continually toward the Lord, toward heaven. And yeah, and remember, heaven is unstained. It's not stained like this, like earth is, with all its world systems and everything. Verse 3, it says, indeed, none of those who wait for you will be ashamed. What does it mean to wait? What does it mean to wait? I think it means stillness. I think it means quietness. I think it means in this culture, in my life, I do not like to wait. We're a microwave culture through and through. We're a drive-through culture. We hate lines. We hate stoplights. We do not like to wait whatsoever. And here David has things going on in his life, and he says, and he knows that waiting is the answer. And so the question is, what does it mean to wait? I think it's quietness, stillness, putting something before the Lord and waiting for an answer. If anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives to all without reproach. Wait for an answer. Verse 3, those who deal treacherously without cause will be ashamed. One day every knee will bow, the godly and the ungodly, the righteous and the sinner. That won't be a very good day for a lot of human beings. I'm reminded of the dread of the Lord and His power and who He is. Verse 4 and 5 really, honestly, being transparent. This is my prayer as well. I can relate to it because I find myself kind of like groaning this all the time. It says, make me know your ways, O Lord. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation. For you I wait all the day. As a golfer, you mess up a lot. You don't hit the fairway. You hit it out of bounds. You hit it in the trees, bunkers, lakes, rivers. You get distracted. And there is a way to play the game that's fruitful and abiding. And I can just really relate to this. Teach me your paths. Remember that we saw in Psalm 23 just a couple days ago, is the paths of righteousness. It's not the path of righteousness, it's the paths of righteousness. You know, it's like a grazing hill where the sheep can go like on any which path they want. You know, as long as they're with the shepherd and abiding the shepherd, that's, you know, he knows, as long as the shepherd knows where the sheep's at, it's all good. Verse 5, lead me in your truth and teach me. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus says, I am the truth. So for us, we have our Savior, redeeming kinsman Jesus. We can we need, you know, we need to be pressing into Him in all things, everything, and teach me. You know, Lord, help me not be an idiot. Help me not to be dumb and numb and naive and stupid. Teach me. Show me your ways. Help me to walk in them. Help me to abide in them. Help me to live a fruitful existence. And then verse 5 is, again, he says, for I wait all the day. Maybe David was just sitting on his couch or on his throne or up on his balcony or going for a walk in the hills or something and just waiting for answers, waiting for his life to hear from the Lord. Sometimes just hearing from the Lord is just huge in a human's life, and I can testify to that. I've got things that I just can't wait to have more answers about, and I know when I get those answers, they're gonna just be timely, like apples in this, like golden apples in the setting of silver is a timely word, and um, I hope that's in context there, but in other words, the time when the Lord reveals Himself and answers your heart's cry, that really touches a man. I know it's meant a lot to me, and it will when these things in my life, these unanswered prayers, or maybe they're answered and I'm just not listening. But verse 6 going on, it says, "Remember, O Lord, your compassion and your loving kindness, for they have been from of old." Saying, Lord, remember who you are. Remember how. Don't forget who you are and what you are. I'm sure the Lord doesn't forget. Maybe He does. Maybe He. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know. Probably not, but I'll go on. I don't want to say anything retarded. Verse 7, it says, "Do not remember the sins of my youth or my transgressions." I don't know about you, but I cling to the verse. It's in Psalm 103:12. It says, as far as the east is from the west, so has my sins been removed from me." Uh, and I count on this verse because I look at my trail and look back on the course that I've played so far in my life, and it's a mess. I've made such a mess. I've made wrong choices. I've been a part of ruining lives, and just been a part of destruction in the past, and in the Lord. And I see all the sins, and so David right here is saying, "Do not remember the sins of my youth." I'm reminded of the verse that says, when I was a child, I acted like a child, I talked like a child, but I put childish ways behind me, and now that I'm a man, think like a man. That verse, I'll let you look up the specifics on that, but that's the verse that comes to mind. According to your loving kindness, remember me for your goodness' sake, O Lord. Um, I wonder if that phrase, "for goodness' sakes," comes from this verse. Verse 8, good and upright is the Lord. And I've got a little question here: is how does David know the Lord is good and upright? How do you know the Lord is good and upright? How do you know He's good? How do you know He's upright? How do you know He's not like a bending reed, or will change this or change that? How do you know He's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow? How do you know that He's good? What is good? Well, I think we have our answer back in Genesis. Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and He created everything in the earth, everything going on, and He said it was good. I think that's a real beautiful picture of, we have to use our sanctified imagination to understand, and we get little glimpses of it here even today, of what is good. It's harder to see now in 2013 because things are so decayed and so distorted and so messed up through time and decay and age. But there was a time in the garden when and everything was perfect. And the Lord is good. Now I'm reminded of the verse, "Taste and see that the Lord is good." Taste and see that the Lord is good. Try Him out. Taste and see that the Lord is good. He will prove Himself good to you if you will let Him. And the Lord is good. Remember, all this destruction, all this sin, that wasn't because the Lord messed up. We sinned. Adam and Eve in the garden, they sinned. And that began transgression. That began the fall of man. And we see the effects of that now. And why is that still going on? Because God is a loving God, and He's giving time, and He's holding off, correcting everything and making things back in order for those few people that are left on the earth, few people that will still choose Him and believe in Him and believe in His Son Jesus and receive and accept Jesus. He's still holding off, and He's allowing all of this to go bad in the present moment for those few. Reminded, the verse says, "Broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many enter through it, but narrow is the gate, and few find it. Are you finding that gate? I'm gonna do a part 2 on this, so check in later. Thanks.